Welcome to the third Ohio High School virtual film room. In this episode, I have Isaiah Walker of Wyoming High School. He averaged over 25 points a game for Wyoming during his junior season, and his Cowboys actually went undefeated throughout the regular season before falling to Kettering Alter in the district championship. Isaiah, it's great to have you on.
Yeah, thank you for having me. This means a lot.
Now, Isaiah, the first thing I really noticed while watching your game was how elite of a shooter you were. You made 54 three-pointers last year, shot at almost a 40% clip from downtown. I really like watching you move off the ball, and it seems to me like the corner is kind of your favorite spot in the court to shoot from the outside.
Oh yeah, for sure. I definitely just important to move without the ball. I think Coach Brooks, my coach, high school coach, has been preaching that. So kind of moving without the ball, trying to find ways to get open because I know a lot of teams were keying on me a little bit defensively. So just try to find ways to get open.
Yeah, so everybody knows you're a shooter on the scouting report. What are some keys to help still let you get open and free from defense? Because obviously one of their main priorities is going to be to slow you down from the outside.
Right. I got to give a lot of credit to my teammates. They always find me. Cause I know it's moments in the game where it's like a split second when you're open. And if you wait, a second later, you might not be open anymore. And my teammates do a great job of giving it to me right away. So I can get it off, and then just creating enough separation. So knowing how to use screens, like we have a few plays where I'm coming off down screens and stuff like that. Knowing when the flare and when the curl and stuff like that. Stuff that my dad taught me when I was really young was definitely huge in terms of getting open. Because all I need is a little bit of space, I think, and I have enough time to get it off.
So Isaiah, throughout the 3 games I scouted of you, you only had 3 pull-up three-pointers. All of them came from dribbling with your left hand. Is that the pull-up hand that you're more comfortable with?
I'd say a little bit. I think I can do both hands. But I think just in these 3 games, that's just how I was open. I think in our offense, I'm always coming off the screen to my left, so that's kind of where I get more of my opportunities to shoot a pull up. So I don't think it's I can only shoot coming with my left hand. I think I can do a little bit of both. It just happened to be these games.
And you averaged over 25 points a game. It seems like you're very opportunistic with your chances when you're just kind of finding the ball in the paint. Sometimes it seems like the ball just kind of finds you underneath the basket and you're able to get an easy layup. Do you know any reason why you kind of have like a nose for the basketball?
I think it's just in terms of, I think it's just a feel for the game. I know my dad actually said this to me when I was young. He just said, I just had a knack for scoring. Like, I don't care what level I was playing at. Like, I was going to find a way to score. Because that's what I used to do. I used to just be a scorer. Obviously, I'm more of an all-around player now, but, back then, I just kind of had that knack of being in the right place at the right time. And knowing how, if I'm not having the ball and I'm not ISOing the whole time, I still know how to run the floor, transition buckets, get offensive rebounds, kind of know how to pick my spots and be at the right place.
So Isaiah, on this first play here, it seems like you were a little bit surprised by the contest at the rim. Were your feet always set here? Because it seems like you kind of launched from a little bit further away from the hoop than you look comfortable and kind of were just short on the finish.
Yeah, I took off pretty far. I was gonna just kind of finish over him and I was thinking about dunking it actually. And then you probably couldn't see it on the film, but he got me on the arm, so obviously the ball came out. And I didn't get to finish it. If I could do it again, I go off 2 feet. I'd slow down, go off 2 feet, and go into him.
I like you mentioning that 2-footed finish. That's something that I like to preach to a lot of high school kids, especially in transition. There are a lot of benefits to finishing off 2 feet. So I appreciate that you can acknowledge that watching that back in the film and know that maybe going off 2 feet was the better option. But then on this next play here, you drive into the paint and you kind of get a circus floater here falling backwards. I'm going to be honest with you. I did not think this was going in as you were going up with this shot while watching the film. So break down this play for me.
Yeah, I came off and I kind of I had to do it on my hip, and that's where I want him at. So I kind of use my height because he was kind of a smaller guard. So I was like, I can use my height to kind of shoot over him. But then the big man kind of jumped up. He's about 6'7", so he's pretty tall. and he kind of surprised me the way he jumped us, so I kind of had to fade back a little bit. You know, it wasn't that hard of a shot. I figured I've practiced that shot before. It's just a little floater, just a different balance to it because I was kind of fading backwards.
Yeah, I was just impressed by your arm angle when you were going up, because you were kind of falling away and you had to kind of put a little more arc on it to get the teardrop over the defender.
Right.
And then this last play here, you're going up against Mark Wise. You spin, get separation off of him, and then really just find the help side defender there. It seems like you weren't anticipating him in help side. Probably could have dished off to your teammate under the paint.
Right. Yeah. No, I know that's actually one of the first plays my dad mentioned after the game. He said you got to be more under control on that spin move, because I was spinning. The spin move was a great move to use right there, and then I kind of got caught because the defender surprised me, and you know, obviously watching it again, I could have easily dished it off to my teammate right there, but I was kind of out of control, and I figured just try to finish it, try to get a foul call, but obviously it didn't happen. But you know, I'm glad I was going off 2 feet though, and I had a little more balance, because I can't imagine if I was going off 1 right there.
Isaiah, you do a bunch of things when you're driving and going up on the left side. Sometimes you hit them with a right-handed scoop shot. Other times you go up with your left hand. What's kind of the biggest factor for you determining whether you want to go up with your right hand or your left hand? Because I feel like you can do both on the left side of the basket.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For me, I think it's especially if I'm running in transition, or like I'm kind of going at a higher speed and I see somebody that I don't think can jump with me, or I don't think is going to be able to contest my shot, I'm going to go right hand and kind of do like a quicker finish and higher up, because I can kind of, you know, extend my right arm out more and kind of get it to the top of the glass and lay it up. Whereas opposed to if I'm more in traffic, I'm going to use the left hand because it's more congestion for someone to block my shot. So I'm going to kind of use my right shoulder to kind of protect them and then get it up with my left. So I guess it kind of depends. Like if I'm a half-court setting, I think it depends on more of a I'd probably do more of a left-hand finish just to avoid getting blocked.
So Isaiah, on these 3 clips, you really kind of struggled to create separation well, at least on 2 of them, and then the third one you beat the defender on the closeout a little bit better. Kind of break down these clips and where you think the 2 plays that you kind of miss really badly go wrong for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think for the first one on the spin move, I think I was a little further out than I thought, and I would have done better by actually shooting a jumper, like just like after I spin, just like actually setting up for a jumper instead of kind of a floater. And once again, that's another one of those. I got to be under more control when I do the spin move. 'Cause I think it was the right move right there. It was just kind of off balance. And then for the other one, I'd say the same thing. I was off balance. I kind of got pushed out of where I wanted to be at, and I was kind of off 1 foot, and I forced it a little bit for sure. I could do it over again. I let it come to me more. But yeah, I'd say I definitely forced that a little bit. And then the last one, I did a way better job of reading the closeout, which is kind of ultimately the biggest piece. Is like you can make teams close out, and then that's leading to a blow by. And I picked a good spot to pull up, and it's a very makeable shot. So I think that was way better decision making. I was under control when I was balancing that one.
The biggest thing about the one that you go off of 1 foot, when you gather the basketball, you really have no outs there. Your opponents did a good job taking away all your passing angles, so I'm sure.
Exactly. So I had to shoot it. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. If you had somebody open, I'm sure you want to, but I noticed when you're kind of going up with the basketball, there's nobody really open unless you're making a dangerous skip pass to the other side, which you're kind of just stuck in a bad spot after picking up the basketball.
Mm-hmm. Right. And I shouldn't have left the floor. I should have played off 2 feet for sure.
Yeah, hop step would have helped you gather there. Isaiah, you averaged over 3 assists a game from the wing position with a pretty solid assist-to-turnover ratio. Where do you think you've developed as a playmaker throughout your first 3 years as a high school player?
Oh, I definitely think I'm picking my spots better, and that also both into my my field goal percentage. Why it's pretty high is because I think I take good shots, and most of the time I'm not going to force anything, and I trust my teammates. I know they trust me, which is a really good mutual relationship. And I know if I can throw to Evan or I can throw to Damian, we're gonna have a good chance of scoring. You know, because I mean, I want the same pass back if I'm open. So, and I think especially my outlet passes, I think they're pretty good down the floor because I know Evan and Damian and Deontay are gonna be running. So, just kind of keep my head up at all times to look for them.
Yeah, I didn't notice you kind of threading the needle very often, but I noticed when there were open windows for your teammates, you were pretty often giving the ball up and finding the open teammates, which is really important from the wing position. You didn't have many turnovers in the 3 games that I watched, but one play here in transition, you kind of got a 3-on-1, it almost looks like.
Yeah.
Were you expecting your teammate to keep cutting? Looks like he goes to the corner. Yeah, what kind of happens here?
Yeah, so I was running. I had Evan on my side, and I had my teammate Drew running, like kind of running to the short corner. I was looking for Evan, obviously, because I know he can finish wherever I throw it to him. And I got caught like kind of like between like I was thinking about opening it to him or throwing just a bounce pass. And I got caught in the middle of it, and then he kept running, and he's kind of ahead of me, and I ended up just like kind of trying to drop it off to Drew at the last second. And it kind of went in between the both of them. And it definitely didn't end up as a plan because those opportunities you got to take advantage of.
Isaiah, with Wyoming, you guys like to play a up and down style of basketball. I mean, you scored over 100 points in the Aiken game. In these clips here, you do a really good job going defense to offense. What are some kind of things that you like to do to score in transition and really just beat the opposing defense down the court? Because there are a couple plays in here where you're just way faster than them and getting easy buckets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think for me, getting involved in transition is the easiest way to get your game kind of going, get your jumper going. So I like to just like run the floor. And with our press that Coach Rooks implemented this year, I mean, we were getting deflections all over the place. And I was like, whenever I see a steal or deflection or tip ball or anything like that, I'm running. And it served me well, because then we did a good job like knowing the certain spots where we're gonna trap teams at, so I can kind of start reading up to steal that pass in the passing lane because I know we're about to trap there. So it was just a bunch of practice and then just knowing how to pick my spots.
I think my favorite play of the 3 games is you guys go trap at half court, you tip the pass to the center, dive out of bounds to save the ball, and then there's a little bit of a mess. Evan ends up getting it, feeds you with a bounce pass. As you're off film for a little while, but I can tell you got up quickly. Break down that play for me a little bit because I love the hustle there.
Right, yeah. I get that deflection because I kind of baited the dude into throwing that. And then I always like if the ball's going out of bounds and never going to save it by my basket or even on half of the court, I like to just throw it to the other side and give my athletes like Evan or Damian or Deontay a chance to run after it. Because I think we can win that battle a lot of times. And then if not, we can set up our defense still. So I just kind of threw it over there and hope for the best. And the ball kind of got tipped around and ended up in Evan's hands. And I just, sprinted back because I knew he was going to be looking for me. And then I did a good job of avoiding the charge on the finish.
Yeah, that was the biggest thing I liked, that how quickly you were able to get up and get back to the hoop because you see it at around like the volleyball line area
right
in the backcourt, and within just a couple seconds you're back cutting to the basket and getting an easy finish. So Isaiah, one thing that I noticed throughout watching your game is you do a really good job staying engaged on the defensive end. You're communicating on screens and also just tracking where your man is even when you're off the ball. Is that something that you've really improved on the past couple of years, remaining engaged on the defensive end when your guy doesn't have the ball?
Oh yeah. No, Coach Rooks, he kind of came in. He was like, we're gonna change this, and you have no option. And he was like, you can be really great if you're really willing to lock in defensively, man. Like talking to all of us, the whole team.
Yeah, I think my favorite play was when you're kind of almost in no man's land when Jakata has the ball, and they pass it to your man, and he takes what really is a low percentage floater. You end up grabbing the rebound. What was the defensive philosophy from Coach Rooks on this specific play? What you guys wanted to do? Was it basically just get the ball out of Jakata's hands and force your other guys to beat you?
Right. Yeah. So, no offense to this guy, but when he subbed in, we knew going into the game when he subs in, I was gonna be on him because I can kind of be the lurker, kind of be around and kind of play safety. And because Jakata, he's good. He's a tough matchup 1-on-1, so we're gonna need help obviously. So when we see him check in, I'm all the way over because I know if he catches it and drives to the basket, we have Evan down there, we have Deontay down there, and I can recover. So for us, it was all out help for me, and I wasn't supposed to be worrying about my man at all, and we forced them into taking a shot. Because if they beat us with him taking shots like that, then power to them. I mean, we're looking at percentages. Jakarta scores most of their points, so if we can get out of his hands, we have a good chance to win the game.
You've had the opportunity to play with a pretty special talent, not only on the basketball court, but also on the football field with Evan Prater. Just what has that kind of experience been like for you playing with another elite basketball player?
Oh, it's huge. It's huge. Him being older than me, he come in my freshman year, he taught me a lot, just in terms of like working hard, stuff like that. And then like we always kind of like had a thing where we just looked for each other, and we were always gonna find each other. We just had like chemistry right when we started playing with each other, and it grew this year. Like we were always kind of a duo. And if I'm driving, and I see Evan, I'm gonna give it to him. I'm 100% giving it to him because I know he's gonna finish it. And like those clips right there, he's gonna look for me. So it was a really good relationship, and that's why we end up both scoring a lot the entire year, even with defenses keying on us, because I don't think they can take both of us away.